On the evening of Tuesday, June 14 in Australia, we have a beautiful, luscious full moon in Sagittarius. Sag moons are bright and buoyant and adventurous and social. You want to get out and get into nature. You want to do new things. You want to learn things. And you want to have fun. Sag likes big dreams and visions and future planning. It's always looking for more. The sun is in Gemini opposite, and that means getting the nuts and bolts right, finding solutions, communicating with who you need to communicate with and connect with. All the mutable signs are going to be involved in this moon phase. That's Sagittarius, Gem, Virgo and Pisces. But anyone born in the middle of the month, from about the 12th to the 21st, is going through this changeability, adaptability, wavering, excitable energy. So what do you need to know about getting your solutions right and your right connections so that you can launch a dream? You need to know that Neptune is square the sun and moon, making it a T-square. And T-squares are tough. They throw in a conflict. And this one is a conflict about the dreaming of it and the doing of it. Neptune is the mystical underwater god of the sea. And that's also the sea of the deep subconscious, where your hopes and dreams and fantasies all swim about together. Neptune wants to merge, but it also dissolves everything it touches. So we've got something going on with this full moon phase that you might have to dissolve or let go, have a sacrifice in order to reach the dream with the problem solved in an adaptable and flexible way. It's also about where your mindset has restricted you in small circles and clearing away the veil of that. Because Sagittarius is so naturally optimistic, this Neptune square can put a block on how you feel looking forward to things. Maybe where life has got really boring and routine and you've lost your sense of expansion and growth. For those who are feeling lonely or housebound, if you've been stuck in survival mode or procrastinating, this square could really activate you into a decision or into movement to shift any veil of confusion or melancholy, and shifting it into frustration is at least movement forward. And if you can shift frustration to a decision, then from the decision, you take action. Sagittarius is an archer with the arrow always pointed at the galactic center of the universe. It's forward movement. It generates an uplifting burst of energy around it. Neptune putting a little hiccup on this forward movement means you might have to change your plans, escape from a fantasy, or indulge in escapism to get your vision back. Saturn's over here in Aquarius, and it's making a really positive link to the sun and moon. And when Saturn's on side, it helps to balance out whatever confusion or veil that's happening with Neptune. If Gemini is the planet that puts all the dots together, Saturn is the one that tells you where the bottom line is. And here we've got a solution that can open up, although it's going to need self-responsibility and accountability to get you what you want. Saturn in this position isn't being harsh or cruel. It's giving you perseverance and determination to get through all those nuts and bolts and make your dream a clearer and more valuable place to work from. It can help clear away some of that confusion. Saturn here is giving guidance and support. So someone or something has your back and really comes through for you. The other thing that takes the edge off this big T-square are little clusters of conjunctions, clusterjunctions. That's not a real word, but clusters of conjunctions. Have a look at the chart. These little clusters of planets all have an intensity to them. And normally when planets are bunched together, the energies have to work together to harmonize, and they don't really know where one begins and one ends. The energies merge. But because we've got Mercury in its hometown of Gemini, Venus in its hometown of Taurus, Mars in its hometown of Aries, Neptune's in its hometown of Pisces, and Saturn's really comfortable in Aquarius, being its traditional ruler. The most intense of these conjunctions is Uranus with Venus, the North Node and Pallas, all here in Taurus. This is fun and pleasure-seeking, it's sexuality, it's surprise romance, but it also has very unpredictable results. Uranus brings an electric shock, and with this combination, you're really looking for a wild adventure or some way to cut loose. The North Node here means that you're embarking on a new direction. But with Neptune, is this direction real or just a step into the wild side? This combo would also bring up money, cryptocurrencies, and anything that's a gamble. There's a temptation to stack on the odds and go all in. Pallas is our goddess of strategic war and skill and clear thinking feminine logic. She draws attention to a talent. So you might be finding you have, a surprise talent. Or you might be finding with Neptune, it's a dubious talent that is revealed. Because she's also about skill and intelligence, we want to be careful about scams and deception and escapism going on with these. Or with Neptune, a block to your creativity and your imagination, like writer's block. Uranus can't help but shake things up, so there might be a surprise learning, surprise wisdom. And Neptune is pulling you back onto the path that connects you to spirit. So this experience might be something that's beyond the material or the physical realm. It's like jumping from 3D to 5D. And in the course of that, Neptune may ask for a sacrifice. And that might mean you have to step out of the routine for a bit and do something different. By June 18 and 19, Venus is going to cross over the North Node and become square with Saturn. And any risky moves that you've made now will get really tested in that time, maybe even crunched down and restricted or roadblocked. Jupiter's moved into Aries. And just ahead, we've got that strange combination of Chiron and Mars. Chiron being the shamanic, soul-searching, soul-seeking, ever-evolving, ever-learning, wounded healer. And it's getting energized by Mars in its hometown of Aries. So there's this real, I want to do something different. And also fighting back from a place of victimhood, a deep wound on the soul, where now you feel like you've got to stand up and defend yourself or assert yourself. Now, one thing I'm noticing is I'm really losing light here. Back to Mars and Chiron. They're not directly aspecting anything else in the chart, but just their weirdness and their uniqueness will flavour this moon phase. I think in some way, if Neptune is going to activate you to solve some problems to reach your goals, then these two are also going to help with that activation, to go out on a limb, try something different. It's very much standing apart from the crowd. It's being proud of your uniqueness. And Neptune kind of favours that thing. It's true to yourself. Right at the beginning of Gemini, we've got Mercury, now moving direct. And it's hooked up with Sedna. And this one was a big deal in the last moon. They're also in a positive position with Pluto, in a trine. This one is bringing up conversations about climate change. And here in Australia, we've had our federal elections with a big split in the traditional way that voting's gone, and a group of independents who've separated from the Conservative Party to get issues like women's representation, climate change, and a corruption commission back on the agenda. It could be that Mercury and Sedna together, because they've been weaving around each other, is really raising and elevating, and also with the North Node nearby, bringing these Sedna issues and the conversations, the solutions, the deals, the pacts, back into a stronger form. Mercury was conjunct Sedna exact on May 24th, the day of the school shooting in Texas. Sedna is the goddess who evolves through a tragedy. This combo brings up issues of personal safety. But with Sedna, it wants an evolution to move through, to change the mindset and shift the conversation. Maybe this is a time the US can legislate to get effective gun control. And with the combination of Jupiter in Aries and Neptune affecting this one, it has to be really meaningful change or not at all. Back to this moon phase, strap yourself in for some kind of wild adventure. But know if you drift too far, Saturn's got a guiding light to help someone pull you through. These little clusters are really energizing, and also with Jupiter in Aries, there's a real push to activate the physical, to do something about it. Make sure the small things are there and you've got your thoughts in order before you find yourself being stupidly reckless. Neptune is here to reshape your beliefs and what you know is true. And for some people that will mean letting go of a reality and embracing something different. The advice for this moon phase is if you're feeling frustrated or lonely, use that frustration to lift you out of your wet blanket. Make the connections, have the conversations, get the details sorted, and the rest will follow. I'm Merryl Key, and this is my mystery school. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. Thanks for putting up with the dodgy lighting, and if you want to see more, check out my YouTube channel or my website, www.merrylkey.com. Blessed be.